ditched is such a harsh word, but I really ditched full frame cameras. And full frame is amazing for what it is. I'm trying not to knock it, because if you feel like carrying around a damn Tyrannosaurus egg around your neck and taking beautiful pictures with a full frame sensor, that's amazing, and more power to you. My camera was so huge and heavy, I just didn't want to take it anywhere. And what's the point of having a big ass amazing camera if you don't even want to use it?
It's weird that physical bulk is actually the #1 issue I have with full frame cameras. But at the end of the day, I really want to enjoy the process of creating. I had a ton of beautiful moments with my full frame first generation Canon 5D. I took thousands upon thousands of photos with it over the last 10 years. It was my workhorse for my portrait series that I started in 2007, performing beautifully with my off-camera flash setup and on a bunch of commercial shoots. But it also weighed about 4,000 pounds. At least that's what it felt like after a long day of carrying it around my neck. My arms would be shaking and my back would be sore AF. So most of the time, the 5D ended up in my closet collecting dust. I wanted something smaller and less intimidating that I could take with me anywhere. Something I could easily grab for random street photography, off-camera flash photo shoots, and juicy 4K video. Phones have amazing cameras, but I wanted juicy bokeh and the ability to change out lenses for different effects. I also didn't want to spend another $4,000 for yet another huge full-frame camera like the Canon 5D Mark IV.
So then I was like, what is this mirrorless thing that everybody keeps talking about? So I started using a Panasonic G7, which is an amazing camera, and then I got a GX85. Look at how small this camera is. I mean, this little thing is a beast.
Mirrorless cameras were the sweet answer to all my first world camera problems. They're tiny enough to fit in my pocket or the actual lunchbox I carry my gear in, yet they're capable of taking really excellent DSLR quality images. What these cameras are capable of doing for under $1,000 is incredible. The GX85 with the Panasonic 20mm f1.7 pancake lens can conveniently fit into a jacket pocket, and it's excellent for street photography, portraits, and the 4K video quality is superb with its amazing in-body image stabilization. I also love the G85 with its mic input and flip-out screen, which makes it perfect for vlogging, epic selfies, and portraits. The video on these cameras is so amazing that you could easily shoot an entire film on it. And both of these cameras are small and light enough that I don't feel physically drained at the end of a long shoot, like I just ran an entire marathon carrying a freaking anvil.
After using these cameras for a while, I am convinced that the quality is just as good, if not better sometimes, than a full frame camera. Yeah, I said it. It's not the camera you use, but how you use it. If you have like an old ass Coolpix camera and you take amazing photos with that, just use that.
I was initially skeptical of mirrorless cameras because of full-frame purists talking about how crop sensors can't get good bokeh, they have crappy dynamic range, and how they suck in low light. And while some of that stuff is sometimes true, you can still get amazing results with crop sensors even in low light. And when it comes to noise, sometimes I don't mind a little digital graininess, because it adds a level of rawness and cinematic film grain vibes. I have a few fast lenses with low apertures that perform beautifully in low light and produce super bokeh-licious shots. One of my favorites is the Panasonic 42.5mm f1.7 lens, which is tack sharp even wide open, and the bokeh is just dreamy. Yes, technically its aperture is the full frame equivalent of f3.4, which some full frame enthusiasts have been quick to point out on my previous videos, but just check out this bokeh. I mean, how much blurrier do we really need the background to be? Those are some seriously juicy bokeh balls right there. One thing I love about my Micro Four Thirds cameras is their tiny size is not only easy on my neck and back, but they also seem super non-intimidating to the subject. I think the smaller design of mirrorless cameras allows for subjects to be more at ease with the perception of the moment, which could lead to more natural poses in your shots. I shoot a lot of portraits, and it's amazing to me how differently people will act based on the size and bulk of the camera.
I mean, think about it. People act differently. Someone just dropped a big ass rock. When people whip out their phone to take a picture of you, it's fun, it's light, it's lighthearted, whatever. But when someone takes a huge camera, it seems like people feel like they have to pose differently or just act differently for the camera. But there's also another spelunker. It's about the image, it's about the story that you make. I can walk around with a tiny camera with a tiny lens and people think it's just a tiny camera taking tiny photos. But what they don't realize is the photos are huge. It's so fun to just walk around with a tiny camera, and it makes me enjoy the process of doing it. And that's what it's about.
Mirrorless cameras are like tiny baby DSLRs, and you don't have to shell out thousands of dollars to get a more than decent setup. The GX85 is one of the most underrated cameras out there at around $500 to $600. The G85 is under $1,000 new and only around $600 to $700 used. And with the extra money you saved on the camera body, you can invest it into some juicy lenses. For only $150, you can grab a Panasonic 25mm f1.7 lens. This lens is incredible for the price with amazing bokeh and super fast focusing. I also found a used Panasonic 14mm f2.5 lens on eBay for about $100, which you can make even wider using a wide-angle conversion lens for another $100. I use this combo all the time in my videos and I highly recommend it. And I haven't really tried a single dud of a lens yet by Panasonic. All the primes and zooms I've used have been super sharp and just so small, lightweight, and utterly adorable. I'll leave links to all of the equipment I mentioned in the description below, so be sure to check those out. Switching from full frame to mirrorless has gotten me back in the groove of taking more photos beyond just quick phone snapshots. The size, quality, price, and perception of Micro Four Thirds cameras are just so enticing to me, and I'm actually enjoying the process of photography and content creation again. Having fun and being present with the journey is ultra important, and using the right tools for the job makes it that much more enjoyable. I'm no longer dreading the impending wrath of holding a giant 400-pound DSLR for 100 hours. We should use equipment that's designed well and functions beautifully for our needs because that's what makes us more inclined to actually using it. And if the best camera is the one that's on you, I want mirrorless cameras to be all over me. That didn't come out right. I don't know what y'all were just thinking about with your dirty, filthy minds, but I'm talking about photography here. Anyway, if you like this video, please smash that like button, subscribe to my channel for more juicy content, and add me on Instagram at B3NAQUA. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video experience.